What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. I'm going to break down some big news that came out from analysts as we're seeing them downgrade Tesla to some extent in terms of their price targets and what this means for the share price moving forward. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total, and the offer ends at the end of March. Anyways, as far as Tesla's going, we tried to push in the morning back up to about this 248 area. I mentioned that if we hold above 250, we're going to be looking bullish to try to fill this gap. If we don't hold above 250, we're looking for a move back down. I was anticipating a move down to about 240, and I said if that doesn't hold, we're looking for this low to be retested. And we're very close to that, so we did kind of call this dip so far, but the question remains, can we hold the support near this like 233 area? If not, we're looking for 230 as our next potential target. So we're making lower highs so far on Tesla and we're showing some weakness, but we'll see if these lows end up holding or not, so watch that very carefully. Now, as time goes on, just keep in mind that as far as Tesla's going, Mizuho did lower their targets to about $430 for Tesla. They used to say it was going to be going to about 515, so they changed their target at least moving forward. So why is this? Why are they changing the way they're viewing Tesla? Well, the first thing they said is that the February sales decline is not really good so far. If you look at the US, European, and Chinese sales are down 2% in the US year over year. They're down 49% in China and then about 76 down in Germany so far. They mentioned there's a lot of deterioration in geopolitics and such. The sales woes are happening because of that. And then there's also a big change in their brand perception that's, associated with stronger competition and a very, very different view. And then they also think that there's softer than expected demand for the Model Y refresh so far. Analysts are saying this in their notes thus far. They trimmed their 2025 delivery estimates for Tesla from what used to be 2.3 and 2.9 million to 1.8 to 2.3 million. So they changed their view on Tesla, where they're seeing deliveries going. And I think that for the next 12 months, we could see the share price run to about 430 instead of 515. Now, the long term still remains bright with other catalysts that still have to be accounted for like the robotaxi and such. But with the lowering demand and these fears that are being emerged, this is part of why Tesla's kind of dipping the way it is. On top of this, there's been some negative news about the Cybertruck. Deliveries have been paused due to trims flying off, according to reports. So keep that in mind. There is some talk right now, at least with auto dealers who have been posting online, that many of the Cybertruck owners are now seeing an issue with their cantrail trim. This is not the very, very best of news. This is located on the roof ledge of the vehicle on the side just above the windshield. And we're starting to see this happening to a lot of Teslas. So, not the best for the Cybertrucks. I think that back in June of 2024, they had to recall about 11,000 Cybertrucks due to trims detaching. And now this could also lead to other issues. So for the time being, they're trying to figure out what's going on as we're starting to see like that part kind of like peeling off a little bit. So not the best of news, at least for them. And hopefully Tesla helps fix this issue as soon as possible. For now, we're seeing deliveries being paused. Hopefully Tesla could fix that issue and things should be okay. I don't consider this to be a major problem. Hopefully they do end up fixing this. But like I said before, not the best of news to see the Cybertruck deliveries paused temporarily. And that's also part of why the share price is dipping. So some bad news did end up coming out. For the broader markets, our housing data was so a little bit weak, but everything else was decent, I would say, overall. So overall, the market's still, trying to be resilient. It's still trying to hold support. But the issue is that with Tesla dipping like this, we have to watch to see if we could hold that support. So for Tesla, we're watching the support around this 233 area. Then we have 230 below that. If those fail us, I am expecting it to dip more. Unfortunately, it was trying to bounce. It was, trying to get back above 250 in the morning. Had we held above that, it would have been a good sign for Tesla. We could have started to run more, but we failed so far. So as a result, we're dipping. We could be looking for 230 or below now as time goes on. So please keep that in mind, guys. We could be dipping to the lower 230s with this negative news coming out, and then we'll see if it holds. If not, we could be dipping a bit more. So we're a bit more bearish for now for Tesla. The market's also looking a little bit weaker for the short term, but for the medium term, it still looks a bit more bullish. Let me elaborate on this. So I think that the low is not in yet, the final low for the market, at least for the year. There's going to be another time we get a big dump. However, for the short term, okay, or I would say like for the more medium term, there's going to be an uptrend that's coming, right? We might dip right now, but as time goes on, we should slowly uptrend, and that's going to set us up for another move. And let me just kind of draw this out just to make this easier for you guys to understand what I'm talking about. So what I'm saying is that, so this is what SPY looks like, right? We could be looking for a move like this. Okay, we if we pull back a little bit here, yeah, it could happen. We're going to be fine if that's the case, but then we're going to be looking for an uptrend to be respected for the next 1 to 2 weeks, and we could be looking for a nice move like this, most likely, right? Even if we do make a move, however high we go, this is just a hypothetical situation of the direction I'm looking for. As we get to April, we're going to be looking for the next leg down. The market's going to continue its decline like this. So what I'm saying is that right now, market could dip a little bit. See how this arrow is like kind of pointing downwards. For now, we could be looking for a small decline, but then this could be followed by some more upside. Don't worry about the levels now. I'm just showing you an example of how this could end up panning out, right? And then as time goes on, once we get closer to April, I do think that our next cycle would take us lower again. So this is what I'm kind of like anticipating for now. So I want to make this as clear as possible for everyone out there. So even if we do dip a little bit, we could be setting ourselves up for a temporary uptrend for a couple of weeks before we see a much larger move down for the next leg down. That's what I'm basically anticipating. Okay, so what do I see for the short term? Well, the problem with SPY is that we're not breaking 565 easily. If we break that, this could start running more. But for the time being, it's been struggling to do that. So we're looking at support right over here around this 561.74 area is our main support. We could test that if we can't get back above 565. And even if we do get a dip to like the lower like 560 to 561 area, if that does fail us, we have 558 and 555 as our main supports. So we'll see how it ends up going. If we end up breaking this resistance, we could be running more. But I just want to say that there's going to be a risk of us dipping a bit more, at least for the time being, back down to like 561.74 or so. But even if we do get a small pullback move, whether we end up retesting the low 560s or if we go all the way down to 555, it doesn't matter to me if we get a small dip because we could always bounce and continue to uptrend over the next couple of weeks. So I hope that's as clear as possible. There could be a temporary dip, but then a bounce could be coming later on despite this. On the QQQ, it's the same thing. We were trying to hold above 480. We have not held it yet. So there could be a dip coming back down to about 478.3. If that fails us, I could be looking for us to get closer to like 475 as possible. But then even if we do get some kind of dip move, even if we come back to fill this gap, even if that happens, it's okay because I believe the QQQ could try to form a double bottom and it could try to rebound later on. We just have to give this some time. The Russell's looking bullish, inverse head and shoulders. We'll see how it reacts to this trend line. Will we see a small rejection to 202 and then break out from there? I'll see if that ends up being the case. ES has a nice bullish divergence. We have resistance around 56.72. We could be dipping lower towards 56.25, and we'll see if we get a breakout from here to much higher levels. If we end up losing 56.14, we could be dipping more, but then we'll see how it goes. This could kind of dip and bounce, so we'll have to see. For NQ, if we end up breaking past 19,835, we're looking for basically the 20,000s. If we end up losing 19,594, we're looking for some kind of dip move. So give this some time, and we'll just have to see how things end up going. If we end up breaking resistance, we're looking for 19,835, and then we're looking for the 20,000s. So we'll see about that. It's possible that we have like a double bottom here. We form kind of like an accumulation first before this tries to rebound. So just keep that in mind. For Bitcoin, so far so good. We're trying to hold this trend line. We'll have to see if this holds. If it does, we may continue to uptrend for 85,000 plus. Watch to see if it holds. If it doesn't hold, we dip to 80,000. So that's all I'm watching for now. Nvidia is looking decent. The trend could be bullish as we're making higher lows so far. However, for the short term, it's starting to dip because we had some negative news that came out. So not the best of news, at least thus far. We do have a big conference that's going to be emerging soon. I think we have the GTC conference as well. But anyways, so from what I'm seeing, this might dip closer to about this like 117 area. That's the main support. We'll see if we bounce off that or not. We came very close to our 125 target, came a little bit short of that. But then, like I said before, this could just be another accumulation. We could be forming kind of like an inverse head and shoulders. So even if we do dip to like 117 to 115, we can still bounce later on and respect the uptrend we're looking for. Apple is testing 210. We'll have to see if that holds. If not, we're looking for 208. Keep in mind, it's still a little bit weak after some negative news came out. Coinbase is looking a bit more bullish. We have to see if this could break past 188. If that breaks, we're looking for an attempt for the 190 area. For Amazon, we're kind of weak here. We were trying to break. I said I want to see it hold 197 to be bullish. We're not holding it, so we're looking for these lows right here around 192 to 194 to see if that holds. Look for some downside. Meta is still downtrending. It could kind of retest like 590 before it tries to bounce later. It needs to hold above 610 to get that bounce. It might dip first, and we'll see how it goes. Microsoft's been making lower highs. So we're watching 385. If that fails us, we could be dipping for 381. And we want to see this break past 389 to bounce. So we could be dipping for like 381 basically. And we'll see what kind of reaction we get. For Google, we're making lower highs here. So we'll just have to see how it goes. I want to see us get back above 167.8. That's going to be dipping back down for 165, and we'll see what kind of reaction we get. So give this some time. Anyways, the VIX is dipping, which is like another sign that implied volatility is declining, and this tends to be a good sign for the markets. However, keep in mind that it's possible we get another kind of like pullback move. The market's not ready to break out yet, as SPY has not cracked past 565 yet, which will affect Tesla, of course. So keep that in mind, right? We could still see another dip move, but ultimately, I do think in the next 1 to 2 weeks, there's more upside to come. So my view has not changed. Unless we start breaking below these lows, I'd be concerned. Once again, Tesla's kind of weak, guys. I got some bad news involving a price downgrade, not to mention the Cybertruck deliveries being paused, which is not a good news. So that is what's causing a temporary dip. We'll have to see how well we hold around 230. Unfortunately, guys, we failed at 240, so it's not a good sign. Bad news has come out, but it is what it is. This happens. Keep your heads up, guys. It's going to be okay for the long term, and we'll be very patient nonetheless. Thank you for listening, and peace out.